you do not find a single sympathetic heart. Some and substance of hundreds of such observations I have been receiving over the years. Am I audible to everybody? Thank you. So when Gopabandhu Babu asked me on what subject I would like to speak, I gave him a few topics and he chose this one. And the subject is such that the communication has to be at a very intimate level. In fact, what surprised me, unpleasantly surprised me, and which also inspired me to choose this topic is a background of which he has given very briefly, Sri Patnaik. I have almost forgotten to thank him for the profuse introduction he gave to me. I am overwhelmed by the organization, the display of my books. I do not know with what words I should thank him, express my gratitude to him. And may I come back to my subject. You see, some of you would remember definitely, in the month of July this year, there was a report of a survey conducted by UNESCO was published. The headlines were depressing because the survey shows India is the most depressed nation in the world today, with a colossal 36% of men and women and young people included suffering from they call it an ailment of depression. I was unpleasantly surprised. I was stunned practically because this is the country where the first cure against depression was initiated by Lord Krishna when Arjuna suffered from Visada Yoga, when he was a victim of melancholy and depression. Krishna himself cured him of this particular psychological state by making him aware of his swadharma, the inner law of his being. If today 36% of Indians are suffering from depression, naturally the survey was limited to urban areas. We do not know about the village India, the rustic India. And naturally, as one of the critics of the report said, that in fact it is more than 36% because many people would not like to confess that they are depressed because they have children, they have family. The impact of their confession may not be very pleasant on them. Whatever it is, 36% is a colossal number. Now, undoubtedly, one of the factors is, as we were discussing yesterday while traveling, that whenever there was a problem facing somebody, a time was when he could communicate it to his close circle of people, friends, relatives, family, and it was dissipated. The problem used to be distributed. Others used to psychologically come in and bear parts of the burden of the crisis which has befallen one individual. And today somehow it is not possible because who is a friend today? It is a colossal question. We suffer from many paradoxes. I need hardly list them because they are all, you are people who are experiencing them, the sensitive section of the society. We have got elegant buildings, broken homes inside. We have got great speed achieved. Still we do not have time for a little bit of introspection, meditation, or remaining alone. We have got all the amenities at our disposal, technological inventions. Still we have anxiety and tension haunting us from moment to moment. the list is very long. And we have got many acquaintances. 50 years ago or 100 years ago, definitely one did not have so many acquaintances as we have today. Acquaintances because of our professional obligations, vocational demands, our associations, club, international federations, our partnership, we have got numerous acquaintances, but very, very few friends. Yet, friendship is the oldest human institution next to the family in the world. Faith is the basis of one's relationship with somebody else. Today, when I hear people saying how to have faith in anything, I cannot say this openly to an individual. He may feel hurt or she may feel hurt. But do you analyze and see, has faith really become something alien to us? Can we live for a moment without the basis of faith in our life? Every moment today you have come here because of your faith that maybe I will speak something sense. I am here because of my faith that I will get a sympathetic listening, hearing to my words. Every step I take it with the subconscious faith that the earth would not give way. Every morsel of food I take it with the faith taken for granted. It is not going to be dangerous to me. Every moment we breathe faith. In fact, the very first cry a child gives the moment it is born is a proclamation of its faith that there are kind-hearted souls around it to take it up and to nurture it and to sustain it. It is nature's inbuilt, intuitive faith implanted in the child that expresses itself as the cry, first cry of its announcement to the world that it has come. Otherwise it is helpless without faith. When this faith, which is inside a family, the relationship based on faith, gradually expands when a person grows up, it manifests as friendship. One of the oldest human relationships in the world is this friendship. In ancient India, we have got a definition of friends. Ature vyasane chaiva durbhikhe rashtra viplave rajadware smasane cha yatisthati sabandhava. We have examples of Christian Sudama's friendship, that the friendship does not differentiate between a prince and a pauper. The friendship is above kinship, as demonstrated by the intriguing yet impressive character of Karna. He knows that he is a blood brother of the Pandavas, yet his friendship with Duryodhana is much greater than this relationship, and he adheres to that. In the Western world, we have got the example of friendship. It is a wonderful thing that East or West, this institution of friendship had been given high merits since times immemorial. In old Greek legends, we see the myth of Damon and Pythias. Damon and Pythias are two friends. Well, the tyrant Dionysius somehow one day got disgusted with Damon for something and passed an order for his execution. He is to be killed. Now in the open court, Damon stands up and says, "My lord, I do not mind being killed. Just allow me 1 week's time. I would go to my distant village. I will bid goodbye to my wife, my children, and my friends, and come back before the week is over." Dionysius laughs. "You are kidding. You believe that I will allow you to go back to your village and you will give me the slip?" No, I will not do that. I'm a man of truth. Well, you can go for a week, provided somebody else takes your place, pledges himself for you with his life, and only then I will allow you to go. And Daman had a few friends. Among them one was Pythias. He comes forward and he says, I will take his place in the custody. And Dionysius warns him, beware of the prospective reality that he may not come back. The moment seventh day is over, eighth morning, as the sun rises, you will be executed. Agreed? He said, I agree. My friend will never betray my faith. So Daman is allowed to go. And he is locked up. Pythias is locked up. Days pass. 7 days have passed. Eighth morning. In those days, rulers, it seems, had very few work to do. So himself Dionysius goes. And his people open the lock of the prison. And he sees Pythias crying, weeping. And he laughs and he says, now you realize your friend betrayed you? You are now crying for your life? Pythias says, my lord, you won't understand the value of these tears. These tears are tears of gratitude to the divine, that somehow he has prevented my friend from coming so that I can sacrifice myself for that noble life. These are clear tears of gratitude. Dionysius is snubbed, and Pythias is carried to the execution ground. As everything is ready for his life to come to an end, from distance, it is a cloudy morning, from distance somebody is shouting, please wait, and before, in those days execution was a public festivity. Thousands of people have gathered. Even today it is there in some countries. Execution is a public occasion. And then it is seen that Daman has come back. He is crying and he comes and embraces his friend and he says, how grateful I am to Providence that I was prevented by a terrible flood in the river. No boat was available. I had to swim the breadth of the river, turbulent river. And that is why I am late. But I am lucky that I could come back in time. The two friends embrace each other. How unlucky I am, Pythias says, that I could not sacrifice my life for you. Dionysius, the tyrant who is observing the whole situation, he comes forward, bows to both of them and says, please accept me as the third member of your little circle of friendship. This is an example of friendship in the Western tradition. And you know, the mighty Julius Caesar, when he was, you know the story of Julius Caesar, I did not repeat it, but when he was murdered by people, his senators, he had hardly believed that Brutus could be one of the conspirators, because, as Shakespeare says, Brutus was his angel. It is not really, you see, Julius Caesar was a personality, and those who were killing him, they were not professional murderers. They were a nervous lot. Had Julius Caesar shouted at that moment, Mark Antony was outside, his bodyguards were outside the Parliament House, Capitol, they would have rushed in and protected him. But what disillusioned him for a moment, when he looked for Brutus, where is he? He first could not understand what is happening. He was being stabbed. And then he looked for Brutus and he saw Brutus who is holding that dagger. And you know the famous words, et tut brute. You too, Brutus. It is a moment disillusionment. What is this life then? If my dearest friend could do this to me, is this life worth living? We are just speculating. This must have been the terrible mood of depression when he allowed himself to be stabbed. As Mark Antony expresses it beautifully, the day he is turning the table The people have come, gathered around the body of Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony is showing wound by wound. He was not present, he is bluffing. But see the emotion and the expression brought together by the wonderful dramatist Shakespeare. Pointing at a clot of blood on Caesar's chest, Mark Antony says, "Look at this blood clot. This blood came out to deter, this is what Brutus made, and this blood came out from within Julius Caesar to resolve if Brutus indeed was holding the dagger." Blood in any case would have come back, can't come out. But then, what a wonderful way of putting the terrible astonishment which must have overwhelmed Julius Caesar at that moment when Brutus stabbed him, that his interior came out to see if it was true. Till today, there are many people who have not pardoned Brutus. In our own time, E.M. Forster, author of Passage to India, he says, if I were Brutus, I would have never done it. Friendship is an institution older than political institutions, be it monarchy, dictatorship, be it socialism, be it democracy. Friendship precedes all these institutions. Hence, friendship is much more sacred for me, and I would not have done what Brutus did. So, what has happened to us? How is it that we have been deprived of the sense of Swadharma within us? Well, I will not be long, I will be brief. Let us come to the point. From the primitive time, as you see the development of human consciousness, the primitive man was hardly different from animal. Just as one animal is a rival of another animal, the primitive man looked at his compatriot, another human being, also as a rival. By and by, the crude physical age was over. There came the emotional age when life power, vitality dominated our life and our activities. Hundreds of years when culture found a boost. Emotionally we wrote epics, poetry, we painted, we sculpted, ragas and raginis were created. And for all these things, we need sympathetic response, receptivity. Friendship is one of those manifestations which bound humanity together in a great cultural upsurge.